that's, you know, 12 years ago.
Right.
That's
Yes.
a 12-year-old tax return. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't really get it. You knew he didn't pay taxes. He bragged about it several times during all of the debates. So this is not, I didn't think anything came out of this that we didn't know. This feels more, again, like more distractions from things like, I don't know, the disastrous Obamacare replacement that they keep trying to shove down your throat. The wiretapping claims, you know, and the possible ties, as everyone keeps talking about, to Russia. So I thought, well, what is all this? Is smoke and mirrors. There's other stuff going on that's more important. I thought, but maybe
for me, it was his effort to try to make this a non-story. Which to me, I also didn't question whether or not he paid taxes or whether or not he used legal loopholes. I think he did use, from what I can see, from what's been shown to me, he used legal loopholes. But I think there are bigger issues going on right now, and I think you're right. I think people are very concerned about their health insurance. People are very concerned about this GOP bill because it's not a good alternative plan, and they're very disappointed in him if he supports that. And I think people are concerned about the accusations that he made with respect to wiretapping, because they're very serious accusations that he decided to make on Twitter in a forum that's not appropriate for those type of accusations. Now, I'm happy to see that he paid taxes and that he followed the legal rules from what we see here. I'm happy to see that. But that's not my number one concern. It never has been.
When you say people, are you talking about Trump voters? Are they starting to see that he's not
there
going to come through on the promises?
Are plenty of conservatives who I've spoken to, who I see on social media, and who I know, members of organizations that are well-founded conservative movements, that are very concerned about him supporting this potential GOP bill, and are very concerned about Republicans who aren't standing by their word.
Aren't they being more public?
They are. They are. You have
Heritage
Heritage Action. You have Americans for Prosperity. You have many of talk radio hosts. You have many leaders in the conservative movement coming out and saying,
Ryan,
we don't
Marco
support
Rubio.
this.
We need to hear from people that we heard from
You're not
before
going to hear from
supporting
Paul
him.
Ryan. Paul Ryan,
That's who we need to hear from.
Paul Ryan is a big government guy, and I've been saying that for a long time, and he supports a big government plan as he has in the past. You're not going to hear from him.
Ryan?
Yes, this GOP bill that's authored essentially by Paul Ryan is a big government bill that essentially guts the mandate from Obamacare and raises everyone's costs. This is not what they promised.
That doesn't sound like a Democratic plan.
It's like
no, but what they're not giving what they promised. The Republicans promised to bring an alternative. They promised we can do it better. We can do this the way that
they
we
were
market.
BSing you.
They did not
Come on.
promise to bring an alternative.
They
said they were no. They said we're going to repeal it.
Repeal and replace.
That came later.
They
They added that later. But their whole thing was we're going to repeal it. The problem here is if you're just doing it because it was called Obamacare, if that's the only reason you're doing it, get over yourselves. Get over yourself. You know what I mean? I mean, there are issues that everyone had with, we can call it Obama Kennedy care, whatever you want to go. We've all had issues with it. We know it's not a perfect system. But if you can't bring a better system, if you're not bringing something that's going to be better for the people, and the other question I have is, what kind of care are you guys getting?
Well, that's a fair question, because they should have to, these government officials should have to have the same care.
They were forced to take Obamacare. Remember years ago, I used to say, I want what you got. Because they used to have premium. You can't believe how good the care was. Then suddenly, they had to get Obamacare, and they were like, oh, we're not doing that.
Right.
We're not doing it.
You had conservative Mark Levin, who tweeted out and said he wanted to know if Republicans who are supporting this GOP bill will have to sign on to it.
That's
because
right.
anyone with any common sense is looking at this and saying, you told us you were going to address costs that are rising. This is going to raise my costs even more. We're not going to have it. So if we have to live by it, you have to live by it.
They need to do Medicare for all. That will solve the problem. One single payer, that's it.
Everybody has to deal with it. We'll see how deep.
They don't want to raise taxes on the rich at all, not even this much. If they did it this much, they could do Medicare for everybody.
I don't support that either.